Good afternoon, Chaplain Joe here, friends and family. I'm going to do something completely different and off the wall. 39.6. First of all, if you don't want to hear truth, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Warning, this is truth that I'm about to read. If you don't want to change your life, you want to live this life of sin, you want to wallow in your depression and worry and no woe is me situation, then you go right ahead. You have the right to do that. So just keep scrolling. Don't listen to my message. But if you want your life to change, you want things to be different in your life, and you want to do life differently and enjoy life for once, then stick around. You're going to learn something. There's no doubt about that. And I was wallowing and all of those things I just said. And thanks be to God and His truth, I was set free from that. So I am giving you truth when I'm telling you, if you listen to me for a little bit, you'll find truth and it'll change your life. This morning, I think about doing something different. I'm going to try to do a verse in the morning, and then I'm going to try to follow up in the afternoon. And that's what I'd like to try to do. And this morning, I got 39.6. Surely everyone goes around like a mere phantom. In vain they rush about, heaping up wealth, without knowing whose it will finally be. And I chose this verse. First of all, I was in my devotionals this morning. I felt like the Lord wanted me to share that verse with you, so I did. And I noticed that nobody liked it. So immediately the enemy came in with discouragement. So why are you wasting your time? You're a joke. You're a fool. You know, where some people love it and then some people don't love it. But you know what? That's why I think I'm going to share a verse in the morning and expound on it, because some people, I think most people, completely missed what this is saying. Completely missed what this is saying. They rush about heaping up wealth without knowing whose it will finally be, right? So what do? We hit life full throttle right now. It's a lot more difficult now because the way things are set up, the way the society is set up, the way things are set up for us, we have no choice in a sense. We have no choice to work 2 and 3 and 4 jobs just to survive. I get it. But there are people, I want to talk about the people who, first of all, I want to bring up my father. God rest his soul. I love the man. He's a great man. He did a lot for me. But he wore the same pants for 35 years. He wore the same shirts for 35 years. They lived in the same house. They bought the same things. He never really did it. He never bought anything to enjoy himself. He always just, and I don't know if that was old way of thinking, but when he died, there was $100,000 left for me and my sister to split. And of course, we got the money. We just burned it right up. You know, we threw it out the window, which was very irresponsible of us to do. But the point is that he had that money. And instead of enjoying it, because that's what you're supposed to do with it, instead of enjoying it, fear kept him from enjoying it. Fear of not having it put him in a position where he just wouldn't even buy himself new clothes. And when I realized when he passed and what he had, I was stunned. I was stunned because I always felt like, you know, they were barely getting by on Social Security, that they were barely, you know, he had a retirement. He was in the machinist union. I didn't click. Like, you know, I thought, you know, I saw the old house and the old car and I saw the old clothes and I'm thinking, you know, but he was fine. Financially, they were okay. House was paid for. They owned it. So, you know, I just, the point of all of this is you heap up wealth, not knowing whose it will be. And at the end of the day, I know it says to leave an inheritance for your children's children. I know the word says that. I'm not going back on that. But what I want to try to point out is this: if we are so focused on work, and we are so focused on, I want to talk about the people that, I'm going to give you an example. People that drop their kids off at daycare. Okay, I've seen it. I drop by a daycare from time to time, and I see these people in their $90,000 Range Rovers, you know, and they go to their $700,000 home. Really? And then they drop their children off at a daycare center, right? And strangers are raising your children. It's basically what it is. Is strangers are raising your children. The Bible teaches us to raise a child in the way they should go. So that's what this is about. They rush about in vain, heaping up wealth without knowing whose it will finally be. And that's the point today. The point is today is, are you just so focused on getting that dollar that you're missing? You're missing important moments in your family's life. Are you missing things that are important to family? Or is going to get that commission more important than going to a kid's ball game? Is that commission more important than being home on time so you can go to your child's recital? See, these are the kind of things I want to try to focus on, because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, the last thing you want to do is be dying with a mind or a heart full of regret. I shoulda, coulda, woulda. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And here's another thing too. I think God gives you, as a mother and a father, a very, very specific. There's a very important recipe to a mom and dad raising a child. And God gave you that child for a specific reason, a specific purpose. That child was given to you as a gift, first of all. But there's something special that you can give that child, and some mother can give that child. Okay, and when those two ingredients aren't there, nobody's going to love your child as much as you're going to love your child. So if going out there and getting that fancy car, or going out there and getting that extra special house in that fancy neighborhood is more important, and then you think about it. I really was thinking about it. At the end of the day, I tried to take care, and at the end of the day, we did the math. We weren't really getting anything extra at all, and our child was being raised by strangers. Our child was being taught God knows what by people who didn't love that child like we would love that child. That's the point of all of this. That's the point of all of this. The point of all of this is to don't miss. I had an uncle. Perfect example. I had an uncle. I mean, I love him, but he might see this. He might not. But he spent 40 years of his career on an airplane in hotels. His one child doesn't even know him. I mean, he's married. I mean, he's the dad. But how many birthdays? How many Christmases? How many things? How many things did he miss? Simple things, important things. When that child was sad, that child needed someone to talk to, but dad wasn't around. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm trying to get here. That's the point of this. That's why I shared that. Surely everyone goes around like a mere phantom. You just run around like crazy. In vain they rush about heaping up wealth without knowing whose it will finally be. The important thing is to be there for your family. Thank the Lord that me and my wife decided when our son was born that she was going to stay home with him. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you to my wife for taking on that role and giving our son everything that he needed from a mother, his mother, not somebody else, from his mother. The love only that she could give. See, there's only things that you can provide as a mother and father for that child that you've been given, okay? And that's what I want you to focus on today. I want you to focus on that today. You don't need that $95,000 car. You don't need to meet that status quo. You don't need to compete with everybody else. You don't need to do all of that. If you can, and which really tough today. It was tough for us then. My wife we decided that she would stay home and love our son, and be there for him when he fell down and get a boo-boo, and be there for him when he needed a hug, or be there for him when, to teach him his ABCs and his 1, 2, 3s, and, and to watch, cartoons with him in the morning, and give him that cereal, and all those wonderful special moments that a mother and a father, the mother and a son, he got that. He didn't get, okay, let's get out of bed, let's get you dressed, get you in the car, see, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, it's cold out, we can drop him off at a building full of strangers. Now, we did do that, and that was one of the main reasons why we stopped, because 2 of the daycare centers that we chose were a nightmare. They were a nightmare, believe it or not. And there were little things that we just didn't like, we didn't uncomfortable. So me and my wife made the ultimate decision, that she was going to stay home. So I know it might be difficult for a while, but if you can, trade in the $90,000 car. you don't need all of that fancy stuff. At the end of the day, like I said, who's going to spend the money at the end of the day? When your life is over, where's the money going to go? There's a lot of people out there who are rich who lose the money, and the government gets it anyway. So the moral of the story is today, stop running around. Stop running around like a madman without a head. Stop running around trying to gain all this wealth and try to keep up with society, keep up with the Joneses. Remember that saying? Stop trying to do all of that. Stop today. Slow down. Rethink things. don't miss those moments with family. Don't miss those special times with family. And if you can, stop letting strangers raise your children, man. If you can. I know it's tough. But if you can figure it out, it's the most important thing for that child is to be raised by moms and dads. And don't waste your life chasing the dollar bill. Don't do that. Don't do that. And don't die with a bank full of money so other people can spend it and waste it. Be encouraged today.